Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anne-Marie and today I'm going to discuss 10 Things I Love About You, The Vacancy in Room 10 by Seraphina Nova Glass. Before we begin, let me remind you that I will not reveal any plot twists, nor will I spoil any surprise endings, so don't worry about that. The whole point of this is to give you an inside peek into the book. If you've already read it, or if my video inspires you to do so and you feel compelled to add to my list, feel free to do so in the comments and I will take a look. So here we go. The Vacancy in Room 10 is about a woman named Anna Hartley who is searching for answers regarding her husband Henry's untimely death. Shortly before police found his dead body, he called Anna and made a shocking confession. Not fully believing what her husband admitted prior to his death, Anna checks into the Sycamores, a run-down motel turned apartment complex where Henry rented an apartment that he used as an art studio. Upon garnering information from the eclectic mix of residents at the Sycamores, Anna begins questioning whether she knew Henry at all. When threatening letters begin appearing at her door, she must decide what's more important, pursuing the truth about her deceased husband or running for her life. The first thing I love about this book is the Sycamores. Located outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico, the Sycamores is a motel turned apartment complex that is described by the caretaker as 3 strips of 2-story building connected in a U-shape with a dumpy pool in the middle. The renovated motel rooms are now slightly better than crappy motel-style apartments, especially since the owners didn't bother changing out the paisley carpet, burgundy drapes, or stained bedspreads from the original rooms. The setting, despite how crappy and dumpster fire-ish it sounds, is what makes this story unique, along with the colorful cast of quirky characters who reside there. Which brings me to the second thing I love about this book, all the misfit characters who call the Sycamores home. In Chapter 4, we learn that the Sycamores is where the broken people live. Everyone is either filling a void or mourning a deep loss of some kind. Everyone is a bit off in their own way. For example, there's Babs, who glides around the pool all day in a unicorn floaty drinking gin martinis. There's the guy in apartment 119 who has face tattoos and eats SpaghettiOs out of the can. Barry in 206 collects samurai swords and enters hot dog eating contests. Gordon in apartment 104 steals Amazon packages, and David in 106 lives alongside his family of cats. And that's just scratching the surface. The third thing I love about the Vacancy in Room 10 are the pool girls. When Anna first arrives at the Sycamores to move into her deceased husband's apartment, she notices the pool girls, Rosa, Jackie, and Crystal. They are a permanent fixture at the pool, where they sit at plastic poolside tables. While they play card games and drink 7-Eleven Jumbo Slurpees, their kids beat each other with pool noodles and eat flamin' hot Cheetos. Rosa is the quiet one of the 3, who refrains from publicly airing her dirty laundry. Jackie, on the other hand, doesn't possess an inside voice, so everyone knows her business. And Crystal has 3 young kids, another on the way, with no father in sight. She spends her days poking at her phone with her long corn-chip fingernails, perpetually FaceTiming nobody knows who. Collectively, these characters are a dysfunctional family who add lightheartedness and provide a sense of comic relief to this domestic thriller. But not everything is fun and games, as is the case for Callum, who is number 4 on my list. Callum Brooks recently lost his young wife Lily to cancer. Her extensive medical bills drained their savings accounts, so they ended up living at the Sycamores because they couldn't afford anything else. When Anna Hartley first arrives at the Sycamores looking for answers regarding her husband's death, she starts with Callum since he taught at the same high school as Henry. This brings me to the 5th thing I love about the Vacancy in Room 10, Henry Hartley. Prior to his death, he was a local artist and a high school teacher. In Chapter 5, Anna learns that Henry was a popular guy at the Sycamores. He gave painting lessons to the pool ladies, manned the grill for the Friday night barbecues, and played ball with the kids. When Callum and his wife Lily could no longer afford a health aide, Henry started a rotation of residents visiting and helping Lily. Henry was a natural teacher and caretaker who was filled with kindness, which is why Anna is so confused by the terrible confession he made shortly before his death. Number 6 on my list is Anna's friend, Monica. Monica does not reside at the Sycamores. She shows up at the apartment complex in Chapter 11 wearing heels, white Dior capri pants, a silk blouse, and pearls. Her reaction to Henry's apartment the first time she sees it is as follows. Wow, Anna, yikes, this was his studio? In her mind, the space was going to be a romantic, open and airy, inspirational loft with exposed brick and soaring 20-foot vaulted ceilings with beams. Instead, she arrived at the Sycamores. After apologizing for her initial reaction, she then pulls a bottle of champagne from her oversized Coach tote and invites Anna to come stay at her private pool house. Anna, however, refuses to leave the Sycamores until she figures out what happened to Henry. Which brings me to the 7th thing I love about the Vacancy in Room 10, Anna Hartley's tenacity. This woman wants answers regarding her husband's death, and no matter how many times she's threatened, she will not leave the Sycamores until she has them. Tirelessly searching for clues inside boxes of his personal belongings, on his computer, and even in his paintings, she will stop at nothing to understand what was happening to Henry shortly before his death. The 8th thing I love about this book is the way the misfit characters work together and help each other. For example, in Chapter 7, when Anna's window unit air conditioner stops working, Callum takes one from an empty apartment and installs it for her. In Chapter 11, Barry helps Anna carry several boxes from Henry's storage unit to her apartment. When Sylvie from apartment 108 has problems with mice, David from 106 agrees to let her borrow one of his cats, named Sister Christian, who he describes as the beautiful black Siberian in his kitchen sink. This is one of my favorite visuals from the book. It is found in Chapter 4. I go into the kitchen and see 4 cats on the counter. One fat black one curled up in the sink. I pick her up like I'm holding Simba over a cliff and walk to the front door. I love the way author Seraphina Novaglass described that motion because it immediately put a picture into my head of how the cat was being held. Once again, although these characters are all quirky in their own unique way, most of them are good people who look out for one another. Keep in mind, however, Anna Hartley arrives at the Sycamores looking for answers regarding her husband's mysterious death, so at least one of them knows more than they're disclosing. The 9th thing I love about the Vacancy in Room 10 is Cassidy Abbott. Cass. She's the motel manager / handyman of the Sycamores, who fixes clogged drains, leaky faucets, and sets traps for rodents. 7 months ago, after moving out of her boyfriend's house, she was left with nothing. So she agreed to do the apartment cleaning and light repairs in exchange for free rent. In Chapter 6, we're introduced to Frank, the 10-year-old grandson of Mary Hidleman from apartment 109. Frank has recently come to live with her. In Chapter 8, while all the other kids are cannonballing into the pool or squirting each other with water guns, Frank sits on a deck chair reading a book. As soon as he sees Cass, he walks over and asks if she's going to be fixing anything else today. He likes to fix things because he likes to know how things work, so he takes an interest in Cass and all the work she does around the Sycamores. She agrees to let him help her, which gives us greater insight into her character. No matter what happens at the Sycamores, Cass just kind of goes with it. She's friendly, hardworking, and hilarious, except for when she's blackmailing people or pushing people into big cakes. You'll understand once you read Chapter 16. And finally, the 10th thing I love about the Vacancy in Room 10 is Room 10. When Anna Hartley temporarily moves into the Sycamores to ask questions about her deceased husband, Cass is there managing the place. The book starts from Cass's point of view, and she explains how she ended up filling the vacancy in Room 10, which is supposed to be apartment 100, but one of the zeros is missing, and in its place is a gash that looks like someone took a machete to it, but she refused to ask questions. It's the smallest apartment, it sits adjacent to the boiler room, and it's so pathetic the others don't even consider it an apartment. In her old life, you couldn't pay her to stay there for one night, but the shock of it all wore off weeks ago. Now she's used to her new life as Cass from room 10. If you read the book and would like to add to my list of things to love, please do so in the comments. Until next time, take care, be well, and happy reading.